Welcome to the 5 moves to launch your business. I wanted to go through each move and conceptually what we're going to be doing in each one of those so that you can follow along as we progress and have the end in mind. We will utilize PowerPoint just to provide some information as we go through here so that you are aware of how we are progressing and where we are at. So, move one, proof of concept. In here, we're going to do a high level competitive analysis and perform market research. How are we going to do that? So, we are going to perform a fishbone diagram, a very simple exercise that you document the markets that you want to service, the products, services, or how you plan on marketing. It's really just a brainstorming exercise so that you can corral your thoughts, get them down on paper so that in the future, we have those and we will continue to build that out. The next step is then we're going to go to the Google or Bing, whichever you prefer, and we're going to go do some competitive recon. We're going to take a look at what our competitors are doing, what services they're offering, what kind of language they're using on their site, how they're communicating with their customers. And we're just starting to wrap our minds around what our competition is doing. We then, if there's any gaps from what we did in the fishbone diagram, what we documented, we're going to fill in the fishbone diagram with those gaps if we feel like we're going to be able to perform those services. Moving on from that, we're going to do a SWOT analysis, which is a matrix that talks about your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We're going to tie what our competitive recon is to that SWOT analysis, and you're going to be able to utilize that as we progress into move 2, when we start talking about some competitive advantages, some verbiage that we want to utilize with our customers or potential customers, and website documentation, marketing flyers, and things like that. And then training 4 in move 1, which will round out move 1, is going to be a startup budget template where we're just going to go through and start to list what our projected costs are as we progress into move 2, 3, 4, and 5. Move 1, we are not spending any money. Move 2, we are not spending any money. The whole objective of this course, and I'll mention this quite a few times throughout here, is that we want to spend as little money as possible. We want to be as cost effective as possible. We want to be as efficient as possible as we go through this course. We need to make sure that your company, your ship, as I like to call it, is pointed in the right direction, that we are starting out in the black and not in the red, so that we aren't at a negative deficit from a cash flow standpoint. So we want to try to build this out as cost efficient as possible. I had already mentioned that in the financial PSA that we did earlier in that video, and I just wanted to mention it again. I will continue to harp on that, unfortunately, but what is a killer for small businesses is cash flow and funds. And we need to make sure that from the get-go, we are setting our business up for success. So I'm going to go through here in each one of these moves and make sure that we are not spending money until we absolutely have to and everything checks out. Okay. So move 2, company branding. We're going to, if you don't have a name created already, we're going to go through some options to help you generate and brainstorm on what your name should be. We're going to go through and verify that that name is available, not only your state register, but the URL, online, and go through and do all of those checks within social media. Then we're going to look at logo options, how we can create a logo with AI for relatively inexpensive. If that's not something that you want to do, I'm going to show you where there are other websites out there where you can contract the designer or you can send it out to a pool of designers to get some options back for your logo if you don't have a designer for yourself already. Then what we're going to do is we're going to round out what is move 2, which is building the foundation of our company brand. And we're going to do a competitive analysis where we analyze what our strengths are and how we're going to be competitive in the market as we're going up against our competition, as we're trying to grow our business and find new customers. So we're going to tie in our SWOT analysis in there. We're going to tie in some feedback that we have either observed, what I'm classifying as known or unknown. We're going to utilize Google reviews to identify all of our competitive advantages so that we can start to craft a script and verbiage for our marketing materials and our potential customers. Move 3 is all about developing your infrastructure. So we're going to start to get quotes for insurance, how we're going to email, how we're going to develop a website, who we're going to reach out to, or who we're going to utilize for our phone service. What entity are we going to be set up? Are we an LLC or a sole proprietorship? Are we a corporation? How are we going to do all of that? In move 3, we're going to provide multiple options for each one of those categories that I mentioned, and there's a few others in there. You're going to have the opportunity to choose which one fits your startup the best. We're going to send out quote requests for those, and we're going to start to get quotes back. And in move 4, we're going to do a final launch prep. So in there, we're confirming our quotes, we're detailing our suppliers, we're going to look at some other ancillary items because we're going to have some time as we wait for the quotes to come back from suppliers to work on a few other items. And all of these, moves 1 through 4, we have not spent a dime. Now, you could spend a little here and there if you want to buy the URL, if you really like the logo and it's, $10 or something like that. Not all logos are that inexpensive, but you can go ahead and do that. From a conceptual standpoint, we don't want to spend any money until move 5. Move 5 is when we're launching our business. This is when you become official. This is the exciting move. This is everything that we build up for. This is what we have aspired to do. You are now building your business out. In move 5, you're officially an entrepreneur. But in move 5, we're going to go through the confirmation of our accounting software, our insurance company. We're going to set up our legal entity. We're going to go through and find a bank account and a credit card. We're going to go through and identify our phone, data storage, email. We're going to go through and solidify all of those. We're going to do a Google business page. We're going to go through and round out all of that information to make sure that when you launch your company, you have your ship pointed in the right direction with as little expenses as possible so that when you are out hunting for business, when you're getting customers, when you're marketing your company, you have confidence and you are focused on looking for business, servicing the customer. Those are going to be the next steps after move 5 that we're not going to cover within this tutorial, but those are the 5 moves to launch your business. We're going to get you from point A to point B, which is launching your business, all in these 5 moves. We look forward to going through each one of these moves with you. I am very grateful and honored to be a part of your journey as you launch your business. Thank you very much.